Hello everyone, good morning. Today is 1st of July and welcome to the Hindu newspaper analysis. First of all guys, apologies for the delay that is there in streaming the live video. There were certain issues that were there. Now guys, starting up with the today's newspaper analysis. So here we will be taking up the entire newspaper analysis along with the background as well as the way forwards. Now guys, before starting up, first of all, let's see the overview of the today's newspaper and let's understand that which articles are going to be relevant for our exam. So the first article, Eknath Shinde is Maharashtra's new CM. Fine. Now guys, we have seen over the past few days that into the Maharashtra the political crisis was going on and the political crisis has now been culminated with a new chief minister. Okay, now guys, this particular article is a political issue. You don't need to go and read this particular article. Then 8 killed in Manipur landslip. Fine, nothing is important in this particular article. Now guys, here just for a reference you can see that government keeps small saving interest rates unchanged. So now if you are following our newspaper analysis regularly, just a couple of days back we have seen one particular article where I have told you about the small savings scheme, okay, national small saving fund, where all this particular money goes, okay. And I have told you that how these small savings interest schemes are very much important for the poor people to mobilize their savings. And there we have seen that there was an expectation that the interest rates will rise here because the Reserve Bank of India is rising the interest rates. Fine, but that particular thing has not happened and it will be impacting the savers in a negative way. Fine, so this is something that has happened. What is interest rate on which particular instrument, you don't need to see that particular thing. Okay, now guys, moving on in the city section, fine, the regional news, regional issues, advertisements, etc have been given. Nothing is important here, so directly we will be reaching to the editorial. But before that guys, diaper change facility in men's restroom. So this will be seen as an important case study that can be used in GS1 as well as GS4. Now in the editorial, do not weaken the anti-defection law. So guys, from last 4 or 5 days, every day the article onto the anti-defection law is coming. Is it clear? Yesterday it was there, day before yesterday it was there. Okay, and before that into the text and the context there was one editorial that I have discussed in much more details. So every day these articles are coming, you don't need to see. Okay, then moving on, home and abroad. Okay, so this is about the G7's culmination. Then guys, the selfishness and the graft of the rich drive inequality. We'll see this particular article, a good article. Then the fallout of policy failure. So guys, this article talks about the recent issue where there were a lot of people, they were found dead while they were trying to cross the border from Mexico to the US. Okay, so that particular thing is being discussed here. Fine, however, with respect to the exam, much of a substance is not there in this article. Then should endorsers be held responsible for the claims in advertising? So guys, recent guidelines where the endorsers accountability has been tagged is being discussed. We'll see this particular article with exam, with respect to the exam. Then guys, moving on, text and the context section. Okay, see this particular thing that this notebook article comes here. Okay, this notebook article is the personal account of the author. Fine, so with respect to the exam it is not important. Then coming to the text and the context, the free fall of rupee. So we'll see this particular article, the road safety quartet and the road ahead. Very good article with respect to GS paper number 3. We'll see it. The art of reading a film, not important. Then guys, moving on, after that the political issues etc has been mentioned. Now see, there is one particular article which mentioned that modified PSLV places 3 foreign satellites into a orbit. Now guys, on face of it you will feel that okay, this is a very important article and let's note every point here. But guys, I tell you that such things are not very important for your exam. Why? Because guys, in an year multiple such launches happened. They are the usual launches where some of the satellites are being placed into an orbit. So guys, what has happened, three of the satellites of the Singapore has been placed in orbit by using the PSLV. Clear? So guys, if there is a new mission that is coming, a new series of satellites is being launched or a new launcher is altogether there, you need to see this particular thing. However, okay, on what date, what satellite will be launched, that is not going to be important because guys, now there has been a commercialization of ISRO also. ISRO is giving its launchers to the other countries also to place their satellites. So many such events are going to happen in the entire year. However, the basics, that what are the PSLVs, what are the GSLVs, okay, what are the cryojet engines and all these things, that is important for your static science and tech part. Then moving on, After that, guys, Amarnath Yatra begins after a gap of 3 years. Okay, BJP leadership. Nothing is important in these pages. Just simply skip it. Now here we see that the concerns over the shortage of the leprosy drugs are being talked about. So with respect to the disease burden, we'll see this particular article. Russia withdraws from Snake Island. Okay, after that, good progress in talks with Sri Lanka. So, guys, it is talking about the Russia-Ukraine crisis, Sri Lankan economic crisis. Okay, so many times we have seen that what this crisis is all about, but everyday development. Okay, today Russia did this, today Ukraine did this, today Sri Lanka did talks with this. Not important. Okay, at all, you need to avoid it. Then on the business page, banks have capitals to buffer any shock. So now as the inflation is going high, the foreign, basically the CAD, current account deficit, is increasing. So in all that particular direction, RBI has given a clarification that we have enough of the capital. Okay, core sector output rises 2.6%. Nothing is important. Okay, basically these datas are going to get changed after every month. You don't need to see it. External debt rose to this much $1 billion. Fiscal deficit will go there. Okay, no need to see these particular datas every day. Very simple reason. Okay, why? Because this will change a lot by the time you'll write your exam, so no need to track this. Then we have the sports page. So this is, guys, all about the important articles that are there in the today's newspaper, and let's see all these particular articles one by one in the detail. Now, as we start with the GS quote, so today we are going to take the GS quote from the Woodrow Wilson. Woodrow Wilson says that there is no higher religion than human service. To work for the common good is the greatest creed. Okay, so, guys, we see this particular thing that Sri Paramhansa has also said this particular thing also, that the service to man is the service to God. So this particular thing is also reflected into the Woodrow Wilson's quote. He says that there is no higher religion than the human service. Now, guys, today we see that there is so much of a religious radicalization, communalism that is going in the society. In the name of religion, man is being hurt. But religion always have stood for the welfare of the man. So is it truly what the religion wanted us to do? Okay, or there are some misbeliefs that is guiding the human conduct. That is to be thought, and in this particular direction, this particular quotation becomes very much important. In the GS paper number 4, this particular quotation can be used, as well as in GS paper number 2 also, this quotation can be utilized. Now moving on and taking up the first article. So, guys, the first article we have taken from the text and the context section, the free fall of the rupee. So this particular article will be important for GS paper number 3 under the topic of state of Indian economy. State of Indian economy. Okay. Now, first of all, what is the context that this particular article has come in? So, guys, recently two developments have happened. Development number 1, the rupee had reached the all-time low. Okay, so it has reached around 79 rupees per dollar. Fine, you don't need to remember that, okay, it reached how much mark, but all-time low of rupee has been reached, 79 rupees against $1. Second thing is that the IMF has given its prediction. It say that the rupee will depreciate. Today it has reached 79. It will continue to depreciate, and it might reach to around 94 rupees a dollar by financial year 2029. So even into the foreseeable future, the rupee's decline is going to be there. Then, guys, there is even in fact one more third development also that has happened. What is this third development? It has been said that actually India's foreign exchange reserves, they have also dropped below the $600 billion mark. Now, guys, understand this thing, that India is a nation which relies on a large number of import, particularly in two areas. We are the importers of the crude oil. Secondly, we are the importers of the electrical equipments. Okay, and as we are importing, we need to pay back them into the dollars, and to pay back them into the dollars, we need to have a high foreign exchange reserves. Is it clear or not? So basically, our foreign exchange reserves have been in a very strong range, more than $600 billion. In fact, the last year 2021 September, our foreign exchange reserves reached to around $640 billion, which was all-time high. But now again, the foreign exchange reserves are falling down, and now they are the less than $600 billion. Now, guys, see, the foreign exchange reserve that you have, it will determine your import cover. It will determine your import cover. What is import cover? Import cover means that for how many days you can keep on importing by using your foreign exchange. Okay, obviously we need to pay the money when we are importing, so that money will be paid from foreign exchange reserve. Okay, so how much days you can support the import, okay, if no new dollar is coming in your country. So our import cover is very much high because of this robust foreign exchange reserve that we are having, but now it is also going down. So in this particular article we are going to fundamentally analyze that what are the reasons behind all these particular things. Okay, chalo, let's now start. So basically guys, first of all, why the rupee is going too much down. Now when we talk about the value of any currency, the value of rupee, the value of a dollar, or value of any currency, it depends on the factor of demand and supply. On the factor of demand and supply. See, if any currency's demand will increase, its valuation is going to down, is going to up. Okay, if any country's supply is has been increased, okay, for example, if there are too much of the dollars in the market, or there are too much of the rupees into the market, then if the too much supply is there, then the value is going to get down, it will stabilize. Okay, keep these two things in your mind first of all. Now guys, let's see why the rupee is going down, why the rupee is depreciating. So guys, rupee is depreciating because of the multiple number of factors. Factor number one, what has happened right now, just a few days back, what has happened in the USA's Federal Reserve, that is a central bank of the USA, they have announced this particular thing, that now they will go for the interest rate hikes in their country. Why they are going for the interest rate hikes? Because the USA had seen the worst inflation in the last 41 years. Last 41 years high inflation is there, and in order to curtail this 41-year high inflation, they have increased their interest rates. Now understand this particular thing guys, that what is inflation? Inflation is when the people are paying much more, when the people are paying a lot of money for the general goods. See, just a minute, I'll even simplify it. What is inflation? Inflation is price rise. Inflation is price rise of the maximum number of commodities, or most of the commodities. That is the inflation. Mehengai is inflation. Now why inflation happens? Inflation happens also because of the reason that the people, they are willing to pay. The people are willing to pay for a particular commodity. Why people are willing to pay? Because people have a lot of money supply with them. Now why money supply is with them? Because into the past there has been, due to some factors, a lot of money that has come. Now what happened? Because of this COVID-19 pandemic, the USA gave the financial stimulus. Fine, USA pumped a lot of money in their economy, and when this money was pumped, what happened? It actually increased the inflation. Now what we need to do, what the USA need to do? USA need to go for the tight monetary policy. They need to suck out this particular liquidity. Moreover, what they want to do, they need to make this particular thing, that the credit that is being taken by the people, it needs to be more expensive. Fine, cheaper loans should not be available. Now what the USA has done, USA has increased their interest rates, and as the USA has increased interest rates, the credit will become expensive. Less people will borrow money. When less people will borrow money, less money will go into the economy, and when the money supply will be less, obviously the inflation is going to come down. This is the basic belief of the USA, and because of that particular thing, what they have done, they have increased the interest rates, and this increase is the steepest in a couple of decades that have happened. Now guys, understand this thing, that as interest rates have been increased into the USA, the investors, they will feel confident that yes, they should even invest into the US's market, because interest rate is going up. The return on their investment will be high if they will invest into the USA. Now what happened when 2020 pandemic was going on, at that point of a time, USA was pumping a lot of money into the economy. Interest rates were very low in 2020 and 2021, but in comparison, Indian market interest rates were relatively high. So a large number of foreign investors, they brought their money into the India. A large number of foreign portfolio investment came in India. And guys, if you follow the stock market, you might be knowing that in 2020 2021, India's stock market was performing spectacular. You know, growth was not there, GDP was not doing good, employment was not there, but still our stock market was going up. Why our stock market was going up? Because the foreign investors, they were buying the shares. Okay, and you know that the share price also works on this principle, that if more shares will be bought, the price is going to high. Even we have seen that the last year the stock market, the Sensex breached 50,000 mark also. Why? Because the foreign investors were buying money, our stock market was going up because India was performing relatively better when compared to the US economy in terms of interest rates. Okay, so a lot of money came here. Now guys, USA has again indicated that they will increase the interest rates. So what is happening? The FPI which came in 2020 2021, now they want to go back to the USA because their prospects are positive. Now what they are doing, they are basically going back. Obviously now they are converting their investment into dollar. Now they are converting into investment into the dollar because the dollar they will take back. So as now what is happening, the demand of dollar is going up, the demand of dollar is going up, and a lot of rupee is available into the market. So rupee's supply is more, rupee will go down. Demand of dollar is more, dollar will go up. Because of this particular gap, what has happened today, the rupee has reached all time low. This particular thing is there. Is it clear or not? Moreover guys, the next thing that we saw is that the current account deficit of India is also going to increase. Now see this particular thing. So basically it has been said that India's current account deficit, which measures the gap between the value of import and exports, it is expected to hit a 10-year high of 3.3% of GDP. Now why this particular thing is happening? Guys, basically it is because of the rise in the prices of the crude oil. Rise in the prices of the crude oil. You know this particular thing that we import a lot of crude oil from the countries such as the Saudi Arabia and many such countries. Fine, we are importing the crude oil. Right now the crude oil is historically at high prices, but India's demand is the same. Is it clear? Let's say earlier the price was $50 per barrel. Today the price has increased to $80 per barrel. Fine, let's say our consumption was 100 barrels. Fine, so for that particular thing we needed to pay earlier $5,000, but today for the same oil we are paying around $8,000. Okay, so $3,000 we are paying more. Okay, so this particular thing will be reflected in our current account deficit, and our current account deficit is going up. Okay, this is because particularly because of the oil and because of this oil price hike that is there. One more reason is there. Another reason is there, guys. What is happening? Even the rupee is going down. Fine, because the rupee is going down, it has also impacted India in a negative way. Understand this particular thing. See, India imports a large number of goods. Rupee is going down. Dollar is going up. Okay. So today our burden, okay, has also increased in a proportional way. So all these particular things have panned out, and this is impacting the Indian economy in a substantial way. So this is, guys, all about this particular article. I hope that you have understood it, and now we'll move to the next article. Then the next is a road safety quartet and the road ahead. Okay, so this particular article we have seen yesterday also, but today, guys, much more detailed analysis, a richer analysis we are going to take in this particular article. So basically, first of all, I'll tell you the context, and I'll tell you that where this article is going to be important. This article is going to be important in GS paper number 3, infrastructure. Now, first of all, what has happened? The Lancet, which happens to be a very reputed health journal, it has released a report onto the road safety. Now, Lancet had actually built its report onto the basis of global burden of disease data. Now, global burden of disease data provides that in the different countries, how many people are dying because of the different issues, diseases, accidents, infectious diseases, etc. So this global burden of disease data also talks about the accident related deaths. Now what has happened? The Lancet has analyzed the countries and had provided that there are a large number of deaths that could be prevented if a small interventions could be done. Now what interventions are there? Basically the Lancet provides this particular thing that, for example, in India, just if we make an intervention, and if the helmet use is enforced more than 5,600 deaths could be prevented. If the speeding is if the speeding activity it could be controlled by the people, 20,000 deaths could be, more than 20,500 deaths could be prevented. If just a seat belt usage is enforced, 30 to 104 deaths could be prevented. So in total, nearly 28,000 deaths, more than that, could be prevented by doing just these small interventions. Now guys, understand this particular thing, that India every year losing a lot of demographic dividend. A large number of young people, old people, they are dying into the road accidents. According to the data provided by the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, 1,47,000 people died in 2017 because of the road accident. And according to the National Crime Record Bureau, around 1,50,000 people on an average are dying every year because of the road accidents. Now, if these high number of accidents and the fatalities will be there, India is not going to meet its Sustainable Developmental Goal 3.6. SDG 3.6. SDG 3.6 says that the fatalities and injuries into the road accidents are needed to be halved by 2030. Okay, so compared to 2015, by 2030, road fatalities need to be halved, need to be reduced by 50%. But what has happened over the past few years, this number is going up. So SDG 3.6 we will not be able to reach. Now around the world, guys, 14 lakh people die in traffic accidents every year. Okay, 14 lakh people are dying. Now basically the largest share of the people who are dying because of the traffic accidents, these are the people who are the pedestrians, the people who are the pedestrians, cyclists, motorcyclists. Now you know this particular thing, that the cyclists, motorcyclists particularly are the ones who belong to the lower middle classes or the poor classes of the society. Now into the lower middle income countries, poor countries, there is very large share of motorcyclists, cyclists, pedestrians. India has a large share of motorcyclists and cyclists. Okay, so therefore into the middle income countries, into the emerging economies, much more people are dying. Okay, much more economic implication is there. It has been provided that the middle income countries such as India, they lose around 3 to 5% of their GDP because of the accidents that are there. 3 to 5% of GDP we are losing. Now in this particular direction, guys, there are certain steps that have also been taken by India. For example, the Motor Vehicle Amendment Act was carried in 2019, and this Motor Vehicle Amendment Act of 2019 provided that India should constitute a National Road Safety Board. Now this National Road Safety Board was said that it will enforce the safety norms. Okay, so National Road Safety Board was there, but at the same time the state also needs to constitute the road safety boards. But guys, what has happened, the state governments have not formed this particular board. Even the states are still following the conventional things. For example, the states are concerned more about emphasize on improving the user behavior, the driver's behavior, the pedestrians behavior, okay, educating them. Okay, uneven enforcement is there. The state government are not actually very much serious on the other issues. For example, raising the engineering standard for roads. Now guys, sometimes onto the roads there are the black spots that are there. Now what are the black spots? Black spots are the areas where for example, the road is curving. Now when the road is curving, suppose you are at this particular end of road, you cannot see the speeding traffic that is coming. Okay, and there could be an accident that can happen in between. So black spots are there onto the roads, which lead to a large number of accidents onto the roads. So what is this? This is a poor engineering standard. The curve needs to be more gradual so that the visibility is not impacted. So basically, engineering standard for roads, proper signages, signals, training for scientific accident investigation, it is not there. These are the things on which the states are not performing good. Policing skills, fine. Identifying the issues that why the accidents are increasing, these things are not being focused upon. Now understand that 2021 to 2030, the WHO is observing the decade of action on road safety. Even the WHO has recognized that the road safety is a very big concern. Clear? So guys, India also need to focus on this particular dimension. Now when we talk about in reducing the road accidents, fine, there was the Sundar Committee of 2007. Now the Sundar Committee had given certain recommendations. Fine, for example, Sundar Committee provided that there needs to be the decentralized responsibility taking at the district level. Okay, the Sundar Committee provided that there needs to be a apex, a national body for road safety. Okay, fixing accountability, all these things were talked by the Sundar Committee. But actually what has happened, moreover, even the Sundar Committee's report were endorsed by the Supreme Court into the S. Rajshekaran versus Union of India case. In this particular judgment, S. Rajshekaran judgment, Supreme Court said that the Sundar Committee's recommendations need to be enforced. Fine, a body for the road safety needs to be installed. Fine, there needs to be mechanism for fixing accountability responsibility. But even till now, much of these recommendations have not been accepted, though at the national level we have installed this national road safety board, but much has not been done even till today. So that guys, these are all the things, and the Sundar Committee, its recommendations, etc., you can directly add in your answers. So that is all about the article, and now we will move to the next article. Okay, so this article we have taken from the regional section. Okay, so guys, here we see this particular thing that what has happened. First of all, I'll tell you, into the Kempegowda International Airport of Bengaluru. In the Kempegowda International Airport of Bengaluru, there is the diaper change room that is stationed into the men's restroom. Into the men's restroom, there is a diaper change room that has been there. Now, guys, this particular thing it was shared a lot onto the Twitter, and this is an example where the stereotypes are being broken. Why the stereotypes are being broken? Because primarily it is understood that taking the care of a child care is primarily the responsibility of a women, and traditionally the diaper changing rooms, baby feeding rooms, though baby feeding rooms will obviously be into the women's restroom, but the diaper changing rooms, they are also into the women's restroom. They were not there into the men. It was reinforcing a stereotype that it is only the job of a women. But now, as the diaper change rooms are there into the men's restroom, it is an attempt of gender sensitization. It is an attempt of a gender sensitization. It is giving a positive message that taking care of a child is the responsibility of both men as well as women. It is breaking the stereotypes. Okay, so this is a very good example that has been established by the Bengaluru airport. Now, this particular facility is not new. It is operating since 2014. Now, other airports, other public spaces also need to learn by such kind of thing. And guys, this is a very good message of this thing. In GS1 as well as GS4, you can use this example. GS1 social issues, GS4 ethics. This particular example can be utilized. Now, guys, we'll be moving to the next article. Okay, and in GS paper number 4, particularly into the attitude, you will use it. Okay, now moving on. Home and abroad. So guys, this article talks about the Prime Minister's visit at the G7. Okay, basically it is talking about that what are the initiatives that came, a communique was announced, fine, and all these things were there, fine. However, the article is not containing much substance with respect to exam. The most important thing that has come into the G7 is PGII initiative that has been announced, which will be the counter to the Belt and Road Initiative of China. Now guys, this entire PGI, which is the most important highlight of this particular meet, I have discussed in much detail from the very scratch on 29 June at 7 minutes 26 seconds. If you have watched it, well and good, no need to read this article. However, if you have not seen it, please go and please watch this particular issue here, PGII, very important for our IRGS paper number 2. Now, this particular article we have taken from Hindu. It talks about that should endorsers be held responsible for claims in the advertising. Okay, so guys, this particular article will be important in GS4. Now see, in GS4 we have one particular topic that is in the chapter of attitude. Now, attitude is mentioned into the unit 2 of GS paper number 4. In attitude, there is one particular subtopic by the name of social influence. So in the topic of social influence, this particular article we are going to see. So very important article for GS4. Now guys, understand this particular thing. First of all, what has happened, I'll tell you the background, the basic information first, and then we'll see the implications of this particular development. So recently what has happened, Central Consumer Protection Authority, CCPA, it had notified its guidelines for the prevention of misleading advertisement and endorsements for misleading advertisements 2022. What these actually guidelines are, see, you see that many of the celebrities are there, okay, many of the actors are there which have a lot of social clout. They endorse certain products, Now these products sometimes are not good for the health of the people. Most of the time these products are being advertised in a wrong way. Okay, so therefore now this particular guideline provides that actually if any advertisement is being made which is misleading, then it has provided that there will be a 10 lakh rupees penalty onto the manufacturers, advertisers, and even onto the endorsers. Endorsers are the celebrities that are there. So a 10 lakh rupees penalty could be imposed, and if there is a repeated violation, then 50 lakh rupees penalty will be imposed onto the next contravention. Moreover, it has been provided, particularly the endorser, that if he has endorsed a wrong product or a misleading product, he will be banned for 1 year to make any further endorsements. Is it clear or not? Now guys, what are the misleading endorsements? For example, a product, let's say there is a product. Now the product is endorsing itself that it has for example, the product says that okay, it is going to reduce your dandruff by 99%. Is it clear or not? But actually it doesn't reduces the dandruff by 99%. It is a misleading product, it is a misleading ad that is there. So endorsers, many a time they are endorsing such products, so on them there will be the fine up to 10 lakh rupees. They will be banned for up to 1 year. This particular thing has happened. Now guys, why the need of this particular regularization was needed? It is because recently the television audience measurement fine TAM, it has released this particular thing that the celebrity endorsements have increased by 44% in 2021 over 2020. So now more celebrities are being robbed to advertise the products. Now guys, understand first of all the basic reason, basic logic, that why do companies are hiring these brand ambassadors, why they are hiring these celebrities to endorse their products. So guys, this particular thing I will explain you with the concept that we have in ethics. See, there is the concept of a celebrity effect. There is the concept of the celebrity effect. Now what is the celebrity effect? See, basically what happens, we many a times identify with certain celebrities either because of their physical appearance, because of their thinking, because of their some other kind of skills. Fine, we associate with certain celebrities, and over a period of time we start liking them, we start even worshipping them. Okay, we actually they enjoy a particular kind of a distinct social clout. Now when the companies are using these particular celebrities, what happens, the prestige, the following of that particular celebrity, it creates a positive perception of the product also that they are endorsing. For example, many people are consuming Boost. Why Boost? Because Sachin Tendulkar endorses it. Now the Boost, it is a drink. Okay, Boost, it is a kind of a milk, a powder which you mix into the milk, and it is advertised that it enhances your efficiency, it enhances your performance, it enhances your stamina, it aids to growth. Okay, and all these kind of things. And now Sachin Tendulkar himself, being a celebrity, is endorsing such a product. So that image of Sachin Tendulkar get transferred to the product Boost. Okay, you buy that thing. This influence is the celebrity effect, and it is a kind of a social influence that has been created on the people. So because of that, every company wants that celebrity which has highest of the fan following. Clear? So they are endorsing the products. Now guys, you see this particular thing even today, the YouTubers. Okay, the YouTubers who are having a large number of following, they are endorsing a lot of products. Fine, why? Because YouTubers also have today become a celebrity, and by the celebrity effect people will get influenced. So therefore these people are being robbed. Now guys, this thing is there. Okay, now recent guidelines, they put some responsibility onto the brand endorsers. They have said that this basically these particular endorsers, it's their responsibility that they need to carry a due diligence that whether the product that they are going to endorse, it will have some beneficial effect or not. Now guys, basically I tell you one this particular thing, that earlier also there is ASCI, that is the Advertising Standard Council of India. Its guidelines provided something very much similar, that it should be done. But guys, now the new guidelines that had come by the CCPA, it has made this particular thing as a kind of a mandatory obligation. Okay, this is something that has been done. Now if I tell you very frankly, basically into the real world, this particular thing might not make a lot of dent. Why? Because just 10 lakh rupees penalty that is being endorsed on a celebrity who is endorsing a advertisement where 5 crore rupees or 10 crore rupees are being given to him, 10 lakh rupees might not make much of a dent to him. Is it clear or not? But the banning on 1 year part, that is something which is appreciable, which might deter actually the celebrities in endorsing the wrong products. That is something that has happened. Now guys, see, in these particular thing, enforcement is still going to be a very big challenge. Why it is going to be a big challenge? Because justifying that whether a product is misleading or not, it is very much difficult. For example, let's say that you see an advertisement where it is said that if you consume this particular product, it will make your child stronger, taller, will provide vitamin C, will provide protein and all these kind of things. Now basically, whether the vitamin C is being provided, okay, or not, whether the child is becoming stronger or not, how you will measure that thing? So what are the metrics that the child has become stronger? Child has become taller. Now obviously he's not consuming only that product, there are other things also that he's consuming. Which thing is leading to which, what result? How you will identify that thing? So identification metrics are very much difficult, and therefore how to conclude that whether a product is misleading or not? Fine, this is a kind of a very big problem. Now guys, understand this particular thing, that see, due diligence is required, legal obligation has been imposed, everything is fine, but this thing is only going to bring an impact when the celebrities will take an ethical responsibility of their endorsements. Is it clear? Anything could be, anything could be just anything could be just distorted. See, we have, I'll give you one example. We have the Kotpa Act. Okay, now this particular act talks about that the celebrities will not endorse the tobacco products. Okay, the surrogate ads of the tobacco products should not be there. But guys, still you find this particular thing, that the surrogate ads of the tobacco products are still going on. Okay, now the tobacco products are being advertised as they are the advertisement of an elaichi, of a mouth freshener and all these kind of things. These are the surrogate ads, still they are operating, though the Kotpa Act clearly the Kotpa Act clearly prohibits this particular thing. By the way, Kotpa, it stands for the Cigarettes and Other Tobacco Products Act. Cigarettes and Other Tobacco Products Act. It bans that there could be no direct or indirect advertisement of tobacco products, but Pan Bahar's advertisements, okay, all these things you see. So what is needed? Legal enforcement might not work. Ethical responsibility taking needs to be there into the endorsers. They need to understand that the social cloud that they are having, the love that they are having, it is because that people have a trust in them, and that trust needs not to be broken. It need not to be taken in just a it should not be taken as a granted. So that is all about this article. Now we'll move to the next one. The selfishness and the graft of the rich drive inequality. Now this article, guys, is a little bit different article, not a very traditional article. This article talks about the analysis of a Gallup survey 2018. Gallup survey of 2018. Okay. Now guys, what this particular article is, and by the way, this article will be important in GS paper number 2, GS paper number 3, issues of inequality. Now I'll tell you this particular article. Okay, now guys, basically there is a kind of a belief that the rich people, they are the most unethical, they are most immoral people on the earth. It is being said that the rich people, they have become rich not because of their talent, not because of their capabilities, but because of their selfishness, their criminality and the corruption that they have done. Is it clear? This is a viewpoint which is in a large number of people. Rich are not rich because of their talent, but because of the criminality, because of their selfish behavior and all these kind of things that is there. So therefore guys, selfish rich inequality is a term that has been used, and it is supported by large number of countries. Large number of respondents say that this is the true thing, this actually happens. Okay, now basically it is said that this kind of a behavior, rich inequality, it is more prominent into the countries where there are weak institutions. Okay, so guys, let's say you go in you go in, let's say, Sweden, and you are in India. So in Sweden, this particular notion will be there that inequality is existing, but rich inequality, okay, selfish rich inequality, this notion might not be that much strong into the Sweden. Why? Because institutions are very strong. But in India, that there is a rich selfish inequality, this notion will be very much strong. So where the weak institutions are there is a weak rule of law, there is a malfunctioning bureaucracy, there is a corruption, and people feel that this corruption, this inefficient bureaucracy, fine, weak rule of law had given a much more advantage to the rich people, and a resentment, a kind of a frustration comes into the people. This is something that is there. Now guys, understand this particular thing, that government needs to take a lesson from this particular thing, and government needs to take some immediate measures to reduce the inequality. Why government needs to take? Because this thing, see, now the article provides that this is not actually true, that the rich people have just become rich because they are selfish, but people have a perception, and that perception might turn into frustration. So government needs to take immediate measures. Now understand this particular thing, guys. It has been provided that the Gallup survey that was there, the survey was done onto the basis of what respondents feel. Now these are the respondents' belief and not the actual behavior of the rich. Actually, rich might not be selfish, but the people feel that the rich are selfish. Okay, and over the period of time, this hypothesis, this belief becomes stronger and stronger. Now there is one more thing that has been talked in this particular article. It is being said that, see, when we talk about the states in terms of affluence, rich states, for example, who are the rich states? Where the net state domestic product, per capita income, etc. are high. Rich states, for example, Maharashtra is a rich state. So guys, it is said that when we talk about the rich states, there is a negative association between the affluence and rich inequality hypothesis. What I mean to say, see, if the state is rich, if people's per capita income is high, their perception will go down that the rich have become just rich because of their selfishness. Because guys, when a person is comparatively well to do in economic terms, he is also moving into the directions of richness, so he will not believe that particular thing. So into the rich states, this particular perception is very much less. In the rich states, the perception that inequality is there, it is there, but inequality is because of the selfish behavior of the rich, it is less and less. Fine. So guys, this is some issues, some insights that have been discussed in this particular article. So I told you that this article is little bit different because it is not specifically talking about a problem and its solution in a concrete terms as we see into the editorial. It is more of an opinion thing that has been there. So that is all about it, and now we'll move to the next article. Now, concerns over the shortage of leprosy drug in the private sector. Now this particular article will see with respect to the GS paper number 2 health. GS paper number 2 health. Now basically guys, see, leprosy is a very serious problem, not only in terms of the physical pain that it gives to the people, but because of the social exclusion of the people that is there who are facing this leprosy. So on the leprosy, there are the big blisters, okay, which appear on your skin, and because of that, the people condemn the people, the society actually condemn the people who are suffering from leprosy. So social exclusion, social ostracization, okay, social ridiculation of the people happens who are suffering with leprosy. When we talk about leprosy, it is also known as the Hansen's disease, and it is a bacterial infection that is caused by the bacterium Mycobacterium leprae. Now, how the leprosy is transmitted? The mode of transmission is by breathing the airborne droplets from the affected individuals, and leprosy can be contracted at any age. Fine. Now guys, when we talk about the leprosy is treated by a multi-drug therapy. So into this multi-drug therapy, 3 drugs are being used in combination. That is the clofazimine, okay, then there is rifampicin, and then there is a dapsone. These 3 drugs are used to treat it. Now why I am telling these 3 drugs are used, because just in a minute you'll know. Now guys, in India, the leprosy's prevalence is very much high, and government, in order to deal with the problem of leprosy, started the National Leprosy Control Program in 1955. But this particular program was not very much successful. In the 2001, there was the leprosy that was eliminated at the global level, but still there were the 14 countries, their leprosy was still high. India was one of that country. So therefore what happened? India started the revised National Leprosy Eradication Program, fine, during this particular time, and since then these 3 drugs are being provided at a mission mode approach to deal with the problem of leprosy. Fine, this is something that is going on. Now guys, what has happened, the issue that is mentioned in this particular article is that from past many months it has been seen that this one drug out of the 3, that is the clofazimine, it is not available into the private hospitals, and therefore the treatment of the leprosy is getting impacted. Fine, in public hospitals it is there, but in private hospitals it is not there. Fine, it is an essential medicine that needs to be ensured. So therefore, in this particular direction, what has happened, the doctors had immediately wrote to the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare that this particular drugs shortage needs to be handled properly. Okay, otherwise what will happen, we will not be able to reach the target of leprosy eradication. So this is something that has come in this particular article. However guys, this background information is important. Fine, you need to know it, though it is not clearly mentioned in article itself. Fine, so this is all about this particular issue, and I hope that you have understood it. So guys, that is all for today. Now we'll meet tomorrow. Till then, please take care of yourselves. I hope that you have enjoyed it and you have understood all these issues with the background. Okay guys, one two things I want to clear here. I get many of the doubts. The students are asking that, sir, if we are watching the newspaper and if we are reading this particular synoptic notes along with that, do we need to read the articles again? So guys, then you don't need to read articles if you are reading these synoptic notes, because in the synoptic notes I provide the entire summary of that particular article itself. So then you don't need to see it. So if you're watching and you are reading these notes, then your work is done. You don't need to go and again read the newspaper. However, if you just watch the video, okay, then if you want to read the newspaper, then you can do. But if synoptic notes are being followed by you, then you don't need to do that. And by the way, these synoptic notes are available on my Telegram channel. Okay, anyone can join and can download. They are free of cost. Okay, so please, rather I'll say that before starting the analysis, download the PDF from the Telegram channel. Okay, and take that particular PDF copy in your mobile or in some another device and keep on reading it side by side. Fine, this is something that is going to help you out. Okay, after that you don't need to read the newspaper. Okay, so that is about it. And guys, I hope that you are liking it, and if you've liked, please do hit the like button. Please do leave your comments. Your comments are very instrumental part of this particular initiative. They help us in further improving. They help us in knowing that whether we are going right or not. Fine, thank you so much. We'll meet tomorrow now. Thank you. Take care of yourselves.